Professor Jiang, or Predictive History, is a scammer. And I'm noticing a lot more people are finally coming around to this position. And I'm very glad to see it as someone who has never taken this man seriously. And to be quite honest with you, I never watched a full video of his, only clips until today when I saw him go on Sagar and Crystal show Breaking Points to educate the American public about how the Frankists and the Freemasons actually control the world. This is, if you don't see it at this point, man, that this guy is some schizophrenic liar, I don't know how to explain it to you, and you deserve to be duped. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the King Leo Show. I'm your host, King Leo. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about Professor Jiang. I've had problems with this guy for a long time, notably because I saw a clip once of the great political and geostrategic genius who is Sneeko, the YouTuber that has never been right about anything when it comes to geopolitics. Most famously, or most infamously lately, the Venezuela situation, which he got completely wrong, was watching him and saying that he was using him to study, eventually leading to an interview. Now, Professor Jiang had been recommended to me, and I already knew on the surface level that this was a scammer just in the name of the channel, the Predictive History. It is literally impossible to do predictive history on short-term events, which is what he is doing. On this channel, we strive for clarity to some degree. Although we are Baudrillardians check in, we understand that it is very difficult to make short-term prognoses. It's a lot easier in the long term, especially when you rely on the works of people who are not trying to look at the day-to-day, whether they be people like Spengler or Evola or Marx. But on the day-to-day, which is how people like Professor Jiang made their name, they made their name off of this, like, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen within the next 3 months in Ukraine. These people are clearly scammers. And I'm going to give you a rule that has a 100% hit rate. Those are rare, 100% hit rates, all right? If you find a professor who is a YouTuber, you should know off the bat they are a scammer. I did not ever believe in Jordan Peterson, not because he wrote 12 Rules for Life or because he signed with the Daily Wire. It's because he was a professor with a YouTube channel, dude. This does not mean that that professors without YouTube channels are not scammers, and that people who are YouTubers and are not professors are not also scammers. But 100% of the time, if there's a professor who says that he is who is a YouTuber, if that's how he's making himself known, he is a scammer. All right, and there's plenty of examples like this. Lex Friedman is one of these who I think he just plays a professor on TV. Peter Zahan, Jeffrey Sachs, etc., etc. A lot of these guys you'll know from like Tucker Carlson interviews. These guys make their careers, Alexander Dugin, on telling you bullshit facts, making bullshit predictions about the short term, and they dress it up. Look, I'm going to do my Professor Jiang impression right now. I'm going to do my Alexander Dugin impression. Look. Just imagine I have a whiteboard behind me. Look, I'm a professor now. You should believe me. I'm so smart because I have clear glasses. These aren't even prescription. These are fucking blue light glasses. But I'm wearing, my professor gear, and I have my little blackboard here. I'm telling you, hey, this is what's going to happen in Ukraine in the next 3 months. I am scamming you as I do this. You should not believe a single word of what I say, okay? On this channel, we don't make predictions that are bullshit. We look at actual things that matter. Professor Jiang is a guy who's saying that Iran is going to win this war. He predicted it in 2024 or something like this. Dude, people have been predicting this since fucking 1979. This is not saying that we have this meme about libertarians predicting the economy is going to collapse every other year. Why wouldn't this apply to these history professors, man? I'm especially skeptical of these people who specialize in international relations, which is I got my degree in that. I'll have you know, if you studied international relations, you came out stupider on the other end, most likely. Some people didn't, myself included, okay? And the reason is because I saw that it was a bunch of nerds trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, trying to study history to look at how things actually work, whereas I, coming in from a Baudrillardian, like postmodern Catholic perspective, I recognize that things are unpredictable and we oftentimes don't know why things actually happen. And since that's the case historically, then why wouldn't it be the case right now or into the future? You have to you have to have a certain level of arrogance that you can only find in the best scammers in the world, man. The best scammers in the world, they believe their own bullshit, all right? And this is people like Zehan. Like, Zehan is just disgusting, man. A guy who used an upside-down map of Ukraine to make himself seem even more credible. Whenever you see props like this, you know, blackboards, special maps, glasses, the way they dress, even the tone of voice, you can tell in the tone of voice. If someone is ending every other sentence, you'll notice with Professor Jiang where he goes, okay, okay, every other sentence. That is a hypnosis technique. That is not an actual, it's not a verbal tick, man. These people know what they're doing. They are scamming you. They are lulling you into a sense of, this person must know what they're talking about. Shit, they look the part of a professor. And they're asking me if I'm okay at the end of it. Peter Zehan, his whole, you know, this very like inflection with the beard, that is all designed to disarm you and to take advantage of you. These people are selling you snake oil. I don't understand how anyone can take John Mearsheimer seriously after he has been proven wrong repeatedly in the past 5 years. I made a whole video about him. People were saying, oh, that means you're pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm just trying to understand the world I'm in. And this guy has been wrong for years on Ukraine, on Israel. He does not know how the world actually works. And what is most offensive about these types is that they will never take a moment to step back and say, maybe I was wrong about this. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. No, they will only hunker down and modify whatever they said into spinning it as to how they were actually correct. This is the sign of a scammer, dude. Professor Jiang, a lot of people right now are saying that he's some Chinese psyop or like a propagandist. No, there are Chinese psyops and propagandists. My favorite one is Eric Lee. I love Eric Lee. He's a great guy to listen to. If you listen to him, you might actually learn something, because when you listen to propaganda, there always has to be a kernel of truth in it, and you can read between the lines. When you listen to a schizo dump, like what Professor Jiang does on Breaking Points today, you are going to come out on the other end of that more retarded and stupid than how you came in. And what is really, really just terrible about this is that this is infecting the minds of a bunch of normies, man. Over the past few months, I've had like normie friends message me, oh, this is the latest drop from Professor Jiang. And I'm just looking at them, I'm going, you don't know what you're talking about. Why are you outsourcing your talks, your thoughts onto someone that you can't even assess if they are accurate or not, because you have no rudimentary even understanding of the topics you're talking about, man? When it comes to geopolitics, when it comes to war, when it comes to all this, there's a reason on my channel, every episode we're doing about Iran, I say it is a fog of war special. We cannot assume anything that we are being told is correct from any side. Will Professor Jiang tell you that? No, he's going to tell you about how the Frankists want to take on the Freemasons to fight the Muslims, and that those are the guys who control the world, right? And yeah, dude, why don't you go back to Civil War Spain and talk about the Masonic conspiracy? This is nonsense talk, dude. And when it's Candace Owens, at least it's kind of funny and endearing because it's Candace Owens. You can't take her too seriously. But these are people who dress themselves up as experts, man. They dress themselves up as people who should be taken seriously. And when someone wants to be taken seriously, that's when you know that they are scamming you, man. When there is no lightness to their words, when they want you to hang on to everything, when they have a particular diction and way of speaking. You might even say, oh, Professor Jiang, English is his second language. I don't care. I don't care. That's even more disturbing, that he's ending every sentence with okay. That is something only a freak who has studied how to manipulate people would know how to do. Maybe you don't know this stuff, man, but look into it. Study a little bit about this stuff, man. People don't remember college, dude. A lot of your college professors without YouTube channels were scammers inherently because they are teaching you something that is useless, all right? Why would that not apply on the internet? So next time you tune into a Professor Jiang lecture and you're trying to predict history or predict the future with history, predictive history slop, why don't you take a big step back and ask yourself, has this guy ever been right about anything? Because my track record in the past 3 years has been pretty spot on, dude, because I'm not a hysteric, I'm not insane, and I try to see where things go, man. If you want to know, we were saying on this channel what was going to happen in Iran months ago because we were simply looking at troop movements, and we were waiting for non-schizos like the great channel AI Telly to show them to us. So with that, everyone, that's why Professor Jiang and predictive history is a total scam, dude. You should not listen to this stuff unless you literally want to become more crazy. If you watch that Breaking Points interview, dude, if you're taking advice from a professor that Sneeko is saying is the smartest guy in the world, you deserve to be scammed. Actually, send me your money, man. I have a huge bridge to sell you over here in Miami, man. It's a great bridge because you are too stupid to move on, man. Too stupid to live. So, with that, everyone, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you prove you're not a bot. If you want a whiteboard, we can get one so I can start. I can do the Mearsheimer script, man. I can do it for you right now. I can do the Jiang script about how Iran's actually going to win this war and it was a huge mistake. And when that doesn't pan out, I'll change it again. I'm going to talk about LNG prices and all this, but I won't because I'm not here to scam. I'm here to try to understand the world with my modular audience. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys tonight.